My name is Malachi. I am the owner of 777 Productions. 777 is my production company. I specialize in commercials, advertising, social media content, things like that. What I heavily focus on is building a company's brand, their brand image, because that's most important in today's age, is building a company's brand, making that company look like they're established, like they actually care about their company. And that's the biggest thing with brand advertising, is making your company stand out from all the other ones in your industry. And so if we can get a company that looks very small time, but we can begin to mold them and make them look more like a company of, let's say, Nike or Red Bull, something of that caliber. Now that company, that brand looks established. So that's the main focus and the main goal whenever I am branding a company and also advertising for that brand. Because you want to stand out in your industry. You want to be the best of the best. And that's why you call me. The name 777 is not an accident. It's not because I'm lucky. You know, a lot of people, they associate 777s with luck. And, you know, I don't believe in luck. And if you follow my Instagram or my YouTube closely, you will know who I am. And I believe in Jesus Christ. And so the number 7 has a biblical meaning of perfection and completion. And so that's where the name 777 stems from, is biblical terms. It's not because I'm lucky. It's because I follow Jesus Christ and his teachings. I follow the word, scripture. And I believe that's why God is doing great things with this company, is because he is truly at the forefront of my life. And I am truly seeking him day in and day out. And this company will stand on that foundation, and we will build from that foundation of him. What do you mean? Like media or business? Because they both, you know, I learned them from just doing it, winging it. Media stemmed from my brother, honestly. We were kids. We were very, very young individuals whenever we started making videos. Now, of course, they weren't commercials or advertising for companies or anything like that, but we were in our backyard making videos, or in our house making silly videos, and they actually began to elevate. They began to actually look good. And so my brother has a lot to do with the inspiration of why I do this, because I fell in love with it. It was an enjoyable thing. And then whenever I started, you know, he would always run the camera. But later on, in my early 20s, I began to build businesses, very small businesses. But what I realized is I needed media. You know, Instagram had already come on the scene. Facebook, you know, that was already a thing. So I knew I needed media, and I knew that, you know, my brother did it, and still does it. And so why don't I just get a camera? So I got a cheap camera. It's a Canon M50, you know. But for what I needed, you know, it did really well. And so I got that. And I began to do media for my own businesses, right? I had a holster business for a while. I had a motorcycle business for a while. T-shirt business. I mean, I've done a good bit of things. Now, obviously, they never took off like the media, but I believe there was a reason for that. You know, that reason was, you know, I'm meant to do media production, and like I said previously, why it's, I believe, it's doing well is because God is at the center of it. He's at the center. So that's pretty much how both started. The media side of things was I needed to make media for my companies now, and then the other side was I needed to learn how to do business. I needed to learn how to sell. I needed to learn how to walk into places and speak to people about what I was selling. So that's kind of how a lot of that stuff happened. It was just experience. It was just doing it, winging it, literally winging it, believing in myself and having the confidence to do it and just going after it. And that's the biggest thing with business, man. It's sacrifice. It's depending on yourself, having confidence in yourself, and relying on yourself, knowing that you can get it done. You can make the sale. You can get that client. You can get the retainer. And then once you have that, you can go out and do the work. Whatever industry it may be. That's all it boils down to. Your confidence, your know-how, and you actually doing it. It takes sacrifice, it takes time, and it takes loads of experience, but it's worth it.